You know, I've been putting it off for a while. Maybe it's time to show off the Pentax properly. Do a review on it. I think Jonty's correct, because I need to be creative. Let's do this.
Oh my god, this is after the fact. I completely forgot to do the shutter. The whole thing, the reason people love the Pentax is the shutter sound. You know what, I personally like using this camera instead, because I don't have autofocus on my camera. He's great, but it's a DSLR, so I don't get any of those fun little features. Now, we're here to talk about the Pentax 67ii from the standpoint of someone who is genuinely an amateur photographer, who's in a year into his photography and knows the bare minimum about photography. So, this bad boy was a really, really lucky pickup while I was in Japan with my partner for our honeymoon. And I had one goal while I was in Japan, and it was to find this camera, specifically the body. If I could find a Pentax 6.7 or a 6x7, we good. But the first shop we go to, if I can find it, I'll put it here. The first shop we go to has the Pentax 6.7 body. Not in shit condition. Pristine, immaculate condition. Fucking beautiful, right? So I make my way to the store and find out how much the body will cost. The cost was $3,250, which I was going to pay by card. But little did I know, my card don't let me do that, especially overseas. So I had to say, hold on to it, I'll be back in maybe a day or two, and I'll have the cash. So I fucked around with ATMs for 2 days, that day and the following day until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I walk up to the store and I'm there for the body. They knew who I was immediately, which is great. I love Japan about that, is that they know who you are immediately. But while I was in there, I was trying to see if I could get a viewfinder, a waist viewfinder, so that I could shoot, but they didn't have any. So I ended up getting the body as it is for $3,250 or so dollars, which is amazing, by the way. You can't get them any cheaper than that, especially in this day and age. And I was quite happy about that because it meant that the goal I had was done, and all I needed to do now was find a 105 f2.4 lens, which, yeah, if you can tell, that's not a 105 f2.4 lens. I found some at the end of the trip. I found a shop that sold the lens I needed, but the problem is that I already had my 90 to 180 f5.6, and I got it for about $500. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I like zoom lenses. I like having a lens. It's ridiculous. The camera weighs almost 4 kilos because of it, but it's fantastic. We found it in Kyoto while we were there. We stayed in Kyoto for 2 days, and while Caitlin was sick, I went out and had a look around at all these camera stores, and I found the lens I was looking for, but it wasn't the right type, which is fine. I was like, okay, what about that? Can I grab that? Does that fit the Pentax 67ii? It did. So, got that one. Cheaper. I don't give a fuck what you say. If the f2.4 is great and all, but I can't afford $1,200, man. That's expensive as hell. I'm quite happy with what I got, and my last goal was to find the Pentax handle. This fucker took all trip. To find. I went to every camera store in Osaka, Kyoto. There was one in Hiroshima, but I didn't really find anything in there either. And the last store I go to, even the boutique store didn't have them. The motherfucker had 5 of these on the shelf. So I got the cheapest one. Like $150. That's stupid expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than what you can find them online. Store, if I can find it, I'll put it on screen as well. It's really comfortable. Like, I didn't notice how important it was to have this handle until you actually get it on the camera. It makes a huge difference on weight distribution, how you hold it, because without it, you're putting a lot of your weight on the right-hand side of the camera. With this, it's all in your left, and you're holding it with your left. And you can still put your camera strap on the camera, and it works, no issue. I might as well show off the Seikonic light meter while I'm at it. So while I was in, was it Tokyo? Where were we? May have been Osaka. When we were in Osaka, in the first few days, we found a camera store that had quite a bit of stuff. That was the one where I found the 105 f2.4s, but they just weren't the right type, which is fine. But I found this Seikonic light meter, which is exactly the one I was looking for. So this bad boy is self-explanatory. It's a light meter. This light meter helps so much. Some of my best photos were taken with this light meter. Without it, most of my shit looks awful. Most of my photography before I got this was really just eyeball, bar from the digital camera, because I would use it in aperture priority mode. But this saved my life. More times than not, I've got some fucking downright perfect portfolio shots with this. And yes, over time, I may not need this as much as I used to because I could, kind of eyeball. But it's still really important to have that backup information so you know what you need to do. So you've got your viewfinder that allows you to spot specific points on what you're metering for, or you do a blanket, which allows you to meter the light within the area that you're doing it, which is fantastic. It's still got the still got the film over that, I just noticed. Really recommend, if you're a photographer, a film photographer specifically, need something like this. As much as your phone is a great idea at start, if you want to use it, it's metering for light for digital, not for film. Film has a slightly different metering, not that much different, but it is very important that you get something that really does help. Let's talk about shooting with the Pentax as a beginner, especially a 120 beginner. But so I've got a year's experience with film photography, specifically 35mm with my Yashica and my point and shoots and stuff like that, which are great. That's a great way to do it. But I didn't have a light meter. I didn't know f-stops or anything like that. As I started getting into it, I learned more. Like, I knew a bit about f-stops and shutter speed and stuff like that from when I was doing videography at school, which was the bare minimum. As I started doing film photography more and more, I found myself learning and noticing all the little things. And with 120 film, it's just that, but bigger. Heavier, clunkier, way better picture quality. I'll do a little block showing off some of my best shots. I did a bit of research before buying it to see what other people were saying and what I needed to understand and how to use it, especially with the weight of it and how to do all the little things. I made sure to look up the user manual, because it didn't come with one, of course, to see what information I actually needed to make sure that the things I was doing wasn't going to damage the camera. And it's very important that you don't damage your camera, especially when it cost you almost $5,000, especially in this day and age. First of all, you've got your back, where if you're not paying attention, there's a little thing right there that says 120. If you don't switch that, you fuck yourself when you're loading your film, because it goes between 120 and a different size film that isn't made anymore, of course. Then there's this button that you got to press down that says ISO, and a little switch right there. That switches your ISO. There's no other way of doing it. And if you're not paying attention, you might forget. I did that quite a bit. You got a couple of different shutter settings, which is fantastic. Problem is, if you don't have a good tripod like that, this is too heavy, and I can't shoot at night without a decent tripod. And I don't own a decent tripod. Please, fucking someone send me a tripod. I definitely would be happy to review a tripod if I got it for free. You've got these little switches at the bottom that allow you to hold the roll in as well, which I didn't know about when I was doing it, that you need to keep the little plastic roll, which I'll show. You need to keep this little bugger, because spooled film over here spools into this, so you can send it in for film development, or you develop it yourself. Overall, if you are wanting to get into medium format photography, the Pentax 6x7 is probably the best go, because you can get the same. You're not paying out the arse as you would as much as the 6x7. For the 672. You could go with the 671. I don't know the difference between them, but there's quite a bit of difference between the 6x7 and the 672. Overall user interface on the Pentax is really fun. Like, it's really clicky, it feels good to use. The images come out amazing. They're sharp, even with the lens I've got. They just look fantastic. And while I'm here, I'll show off some more of my shots. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I was planning on doing this ages ago, but I never got around to it, especially feeling a bit creative this week, so I felt like I should go out of my way and actually show off the camera. Leave a like, subscribe, do whatever is good for the algorithm, especially when I know that no one's going to watch this. If you did, and you watched all this way, thank you very much. I'll suck you. I won't. See ya.